For the first intro, you're going to want to duplicate your clip and make the back one bigger, and add, what is it called, posterized time, and add it, like make it around 5, and that makes the clip behind like a bit jerkier. Now I'm importing a PNG that's like rough paper, and I'm sizing it up, of course, and then I'm pressing toggle switches and modes and pressing Luma Matte on the PNG that I just imported, so it gives like the background a rough paper look effect. I'm also adding tint to make it a bit more interesting on the back clip. Oh, now I'm importing this and pressing Luma Matte again on the PNG I just imported, and I'm sizing it up so it makes the front clip a little bit rough edged, and pre-composing it so that it's all one thing, and I'm adding drop shadow just to make it stand out a bit more. Now I'm pressing toggle switch and mode again just so I can get motion blur and 3D back, so I'm turning those on the front clip and keyframing scale, and then I also keyframed Y rotation, but I didn't end up doing it in that spot, but you'll see me fix it later. And I'm just zooming in the clip, or like, yeah, zooming in. Anyways, I'm graphing it now, and it looks like this. Now I am turning on Y rotation around the middle of the clip, and on the next keyframe I'm like flipping it all the way around, and now I'm graphing it, and this is what my graph looks like. And yeah, now I'm fixing my scale keyframes because I wanted to add a few more keyframes for it. So yeah, now I'm moving that and zooming it in just a tad bit, so when it flips it like zooms in as well. And then I'm just zooming it all the way in for like the beginning of the transition, like so. And that is the first one complete. Here is intro number 2, and I am zooming in my clip, which was dumb because I'm now zooming it back out. I could have just duplicated it and zoomed in the back, but anyways, now I'm pre-composing it. And in the pre-compose thing, for some reason there was 2 clips, I don't know why, but anyways, I add a solid layer, a white solid layer specifically, and I'm making it so it has like a white border. There's probably an easier way to do this, but that's just how I do it. And now I'm adding rough edges, so it looks like all rough paper around the edge. And I changed the resolution to full because that's what it would look like when it rendered. And now I'm zooming this in so I get more of a border. And yeah. Now I am making it a bit smaller and adding halftone to my back clip. You need the Sapphire plugin for that. So yeah, now I'm adding halftone, and I'm going to be playing around with the settings a little bit. I'm making my dot frequency higher, and I'm also changing the color. That's all I really do with the settings, is change the color and just make more dots. But yeah. And now I'm adding posterized time to the back clip again and making the frame rate 5. So it's jerky in the back again. And now what? Oh, now I am adding a text layer. You can make this like the lyrics. I was gonna probably make it the lyrics, but I didn't have a song in my composition. So instead, I'm just writing Louis Partridge over and over and over again. Oh yeah, now I'm just like playing around with the way it looks. Yeah. And then I'm adding wave warp to my text, and these, you can just watch my settings if you want to know how I do it. And just so it gives a bit of movement to the text. And then I add the motion blur on and just keyframe position and zoom it down a little bit, and that's it. And then I add an adjustment layer, and what am I adding to it? Oh, burn film. Now I'm adding CC burn film, so it has like a fade in kind of thing, as you can see. Now I'm selecting all of the clips and adding them to the adjustment layer, so that's like the leader clip, I don't know. Now I'm doing a zoom in, and I'm graphing it. Yeah. Because the adjustment layer just kind of collects all the clips together, if you know what I mean. If you don't know, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, and yeah, that is it for that one. This is intro number 3. Yay. Okay, so I duplicated the clip and zoomed the back one in, as I usually do. And now I'm adding black and white to the back clip. And now I am pre-composing the front clip and going into it and changing the composition settings to make it a square. And I'm just fixing it a little bit. So then on the outside, like in the other comp, it's a square as well. And now I imported the record PNG, and I'm putting it behind the front clip and turning on rotation and just rotating a little bit, and that's all I'm doing with that. And then I'm going to be adding drop shadow to this clip, and I'm playing around with it. And yeah, now I am pre-composing all of them together and keyframing opacity so I have a fade in. And then I'm adding motion tile to this clip just so I can mirror the edges, and I'm adding s_shake from the Sapphire plugin, and I'm turning off Y shake and tilt shake so I have a bit of like a shake transition at the end, and I'm adding motion blur and making the length a bit longer. And I put the settings in, yeah, there's the settings right there. And here is the next intro. This one's inspired by an Instagram editor. I will put it in the description. Now I added a glitch overlay, which will be in the description as well, and I'm zooming it in and putting it behind the front clip and adding displacement map and making the source the glitch effect. And I'm also enabling time mapping, just remapping, I mean, so it's like a bit slower because the glitch goes like really fast. And now, what am I doing now? I turn it off with the little icon, and I turn off max vertical displacement, and I add a solid layer, and it can be any color because this will be the background of the clip. And I didn't like the color, so I added tint and I changed it a little bit, as you can see. And now I'm adding a black solid layer, has to be black, behind the clip as well. And you gotta get the pen tool and make sure roto, I don't even know how to say that, is turned on, and you can make your own little design however you like with the pen tool. And then you add stroke to it and turn it back on so you can see what you're doing. And I make the brush size around 4 and go to frame blending and press screen and keyframe the end, like end, and go to the like around the end of your clip and make it at like 100, I think. And now I'm going into the pre-composed clip and adding a solid white layer again, just so I can make a border, and I'm putting it behind both of the clips here. In a second you'll see me do that. Yeah, I'm putting it all the way behind, and I'm duplicating the glitch overlay and putting it behind the solid layer. And I'm adding displacement map to the solid layer just so I can add a glitch to it. This wouldn't have happened if I remembered to pre-compose the solid layer and the clip together in the first place. But anyways, now I'm adding an adjustment layer and adding warp to it so it has like a pinch effect as the transition. And I'm also just graphing it. And here is the next intro. So for the last intro, I'm duplicating it again, except this time I'm zooming in the front clip, and I'm adding tint because I want to add like a red tint to it. And now I'm adding dissolve luma to it, and I'm keyframing it so it goes from 100 to 0, which is weird. Usually it would be in reverse, but whatever. So it looks like that, and now I'm adding a solid black layer behind all of them just so I can add a bit of film damage to it, just to make the background a little bit more interesting, as you can see. And I show my settings in a second. I turn everything off except the dust because I like the dust the most. Now on the small clip, I'm just doing a zoom in at the very beginning, and now I'm just doing my graph. Then I am adding wiggle to it so it has a little bit of movement, and my settings are 2 and then like around 12. And now I am, what am I doing? I'm zooming in the top clip and I'm doing my graph like so.